Hello, everyone. It's the Amber Nosh, and welcome to the actual episode number 7 of the Into the Depths anime podcast.
Well, hello there. It's your boy Vent. How's it going?
It's going pretty good, I would say. I'm just watching anime, playing gacha. It's a pretty good life.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it must be hard being the Emperor of the Seas, huh?
For of the Seas. Oh, yeah. I'm at, luckily, I think 43 subs now after all my gacha stream.
Don't forget you're doing Atelier now.
Oh, yeah. I've been doing that off and on, too. I love Atelier Ryza.
Let
I
people know what you're currently playing.
That is pretty. I'm playing all those gacha games, obviously. I'm playing like 4 gacha games, but I'm also playing Atelier Ryza number 2. I've already done Atelier Ryza number 1 on the channel. Atelier Ryza 1 has an anime as well, just so you know. Um, obviously, just as all anime game adaptations go, it's not as good as the game, and will never be as good as the game. I'm sure you're aware of some of those, right?
Yep.
Kind of like
Yep.
Scarlet Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch the anime, but the game's gonna be better.
The game is way better.
Yeah.
God's Eater.
I actually own that game too. I need to play that as well. That's in my log. My gosh.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Good game indeed.
All right. So what do we got for today?
What do we got? Well, for one, I'm just gonna quickly mention that this is the actual number 7 because the other number 7 failed. So
It failed?
it technical issues, but that's all I'm gonna say.
All right. So
Technical issues where we couldn't hear this guy's voice, and obviously that would just mean I'm having a one-sided conversation with myself.
isn't that how it goes sometimes?
Hey, chill it there.
Nah, all right.
Let's go ahead and get into the anime discussion, where spoilers are definitely going to be more rampant. So
Yeah,
don't
you
kill
heard
us.
it here. You're gonna be from now on. There's gonna be spoilers, all right? So if you don't want to hear no spoilers, mute the video, but still watch it.
Yeah, just leave it muted and just leave it playing through so we can get the views.
Yes, it would help. All right. So what are we starting off with?
So we had My Hero Academia, only 2 episodes because the Olympics keeps, ruining anime. I know that's a weird way to put it. Damn it,
Yeah, and
Olympics! I hate sports. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, don't say there's a lot of sports kids out there, so you don't want to anger them.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. It's okay. We can have some anime breaks here and there. The only worst part is because they left number 11 off on like a cliffhanger of sorts. And yeah.
Yep.
So essentially, there's 2 fights in these 2 episodes. It was Endeavor versus, All for One. It was pretty much at that point. It had Hawks and stuff in there, of course, too, but the main coup de grace was obviously Endeavor versus All for One in that, where Endeavor just went off with the jet burn, with the prominence burn, physically frying his body.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely great. And really shows Endeavor is embodying the role of the number 1 hero.
Well, currently he is the number one, right?
Yeah, I mean he's showing that he is the true number
Mm-hmm.
1 right now. There was actually, I just wanted to mention, and I don't know if it was a reference to something, but like when Endeavor was carrying off All for One, he All for One was trying to grab him, and
Mm-hmm.
he used his eyes to like fire a laser beam at his hand. I'm just like, is that like a Superman reference or something?
You mean all for one?
Yeah, he was doing it to All for One. Endeavor was.
Oh,
He
um,
Because he was trying to use his hand to steal Endeavor's work,
mm-hmm.
and Endeavor just like fried his hand with his eyes.
Look, there's a lot of Easter eggs on My Hero Academia that a lot of people don't notice. So it might be one.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And then we of course had Bakugo and the gang versus Shigaraki because Toga kind of ruined the Deku versus Shigaraki at the moment.
The one fight that broke the internet right now.
It did indeed break the internet.
A lot of people have make videos, a lot of sad videos, and Microsoft decided to update while that happened. So we had the whole issue where everything went down.
And then you get the people that blatantly put pictures of it in their thumbnails.
But you already knew what happened. You saw the episode.
I know, but imagine if you were a viewer just going on the internet and then, hey,
Yeah.
let's say you're watching through like season 2, and then you see
Mhm.
this episode's picture, and you're just like, huh?
So let's just put it this way. I had the same issue when I was reading the manga when that exact thing that you're talking about happened. And then I had to wait for like a whole 2 to 4 weeks for the next, or a month for the next chapter to come out. So I
But
get it.
luckily in our case, we just have a week. Technically, it should be back this next week, so we should be able to see the aftermath of this. But yes, that episode was
What happened?
pretty freaking crazy. So Shigaraki obviously has some kind of ingrown deal with fingers and stuff like that. I don't know. It's very weird. I still don't quite understand it. But that's how he's been using to fight because he's quirkless right now.
So yeah, so that's the not quirk mutation, but that's the body mutating to be able to handle all those quirks. Quirk singularity, I think. So
Yeah.
he evolved because of that. Since he can't use the quirks, his body evolved to be able to respond to that. So that's what happened.
It's like an adaptation thing. That's why he was able
Yeah.
to reject poison
Yes.
from
Mhm.
the I can't Tamaki? Is that what his name is?
Uh, the
The
pink
one
girl.
not no, not the pink girl. It's the guy that can fuse with the different
Oh
ones.
yeah, Tamaki. Yeah, the
Okay.
Sasuke.
Oh yeah, the shy one, yes.
Yeah.
Because we
Sun Eater.
speaking of that, we had all 3 of them in this episode this time. They were fighting as, a group. It's gonna be pretty good. Lemillion, her and Tamaki, yeah. All
Nice.
fighting together and using their powers together, like like a solidified team, because he's over
Mhm.
here. His main goal over here, Tamaki, was a random assortment of things, including dragon fruit for some reason, and Tamaki's not Tamaki's power. I don't remember her name right now. Her
Nejire.
energy, Nijiri, yes, her power combined so it can form a plasma cannon,
Mhm.
which was pretty sick.
Yeah.
But obviously, Shigaraki is crazy person, and it won't go down that easy to any of this stuff.
Yeah, just remember that Shigaraki's body has been experimented on. He was in a cryo sleep, and he got put in a lot of quirks in there
Yeah,
by um All for One. So his body is not the same that his body used to be. So he has a modified body right now. So that's why the body took that response and came out with the finger thing.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's not a quirk. That's his body.
Not to mention, including that, just going over to the Bakugo end here, Shigaraki essentially broke his arm just by squeezing it really hard. So that was pretty crazy. But obviously, Bakugo also had his new like armament, his big like missile launcher on the back on his back. He had
Hmm.
that too.
So what happened to Bakugo?
Well, what we thought was Bakugo actually crying was just kind of just like I focused on watching Shigaraki's every move to just, you know, trying to read his movements. And
Hmm.
he turns up towards the end of the fight here where he, all of his sweat starts to come out different parts of his body. So therefore, when it explodes, it boosts his speed, which
Hmm.
is the coolest thing ever. And you didn't expect it. Because you just like, you see kind of similar to, like if you remember Eminence in Shadow, like towards the end of season 1, where he just disappears for a second.
Hmm.
And it's because and then he gets behind her, kind of like that. He disappears for a second, gets right in Shigaraki's face,
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So with Bakugo, I'm not gonna until the anime says I'm not gonna say what actually
yeah,
um is going on with his quirk. I'm just telling you that the quirks do evolve even when the people are like hyper focused or in danger like that, the quirk responds to it. And Bakugo's quirk did the same thing. And that's why it started exploding in any other places.
Unfortunately, a detriment to himself because it is doing what it did to essentially Deku in season one with his power. It's
Hmm.
hurting himself. It's
Because he
damaging himself.
doesn't know how to control it.
Correct. And it's the same situation. Because even
Hmm.
Bakugo in there is just like, is this what Deku felt like?
Hmm.
And it's just like, oh man, those parallel.
There you go.
So
So yeah, what happened?
obviously we hit this point and then we get into this kind of space with All Might's vestige, which was kind of a strange thing. And I don't know if that was supposed to be some kind of link to the movie or if it was just some kind of like, vision of before death kind of deal, which could be that most likely than a vestige. It wouldn't make sense that he meets one of the vestiges, right?
Yeah, I think I remember that All Might was his idol too.
Yeah.
So,
He always wanted his autograph. That was his
hmm.
that was his essentially kind of his final words. And I say final words because what happens next? What happens next is he's essentially flung and yeah, his heart is no longer in existence.
You explained that so bad.
I mean, it literally that's what happened. His heart doesn't exist anymore. He's he's on the ground, and man, that picture is pretty insane when you see it.
Pretty graphic, yeah.
And literally right before that, it's crazy because right before that they cut to the parents, and you're just like, you guys are actually doing this right now. Because every time they cut to parents, every time they cut to family, and they're just like, yeah,
A
he doesn't really,
flashback.
yeah, he doesn't like rain, and it's just like, oh wow, so they're actually doing this right
Hmm. So that tells you if they did a flashback or cut to the parents, you already know that it happened.
Yeah, anytime flashbacks happen to it.
Hmm.
Which, funny enough, by the way, there was actually a flashback this episode where somebody didn't die from it, and I'm confused by that. And they didn't get a power up either. So I'm just like, you faking
Who?
us out? Need Your Egg had a flashback.
Mm, just wait.
Oh, you better not be saying that. Honestly, she's probably one of my favorite characters in the series.
You say that about any female on there.
No, I mean, actually, I think so at this point. I think I actually like her character. She's always kind of quirky and fun, where she's just going up and asking people random stuff. I think, like, honestly, that's what I've decided on. I didn't really have a character that I could solidify in my brain, but then I just like, yeah, I think I like Nijire a little bit more than most of these characters. I know you're Tokoyami.
Yes, that's my boy.
You like the Shadow Bird.
Yes. So I guess you'll have to keep watching to see what happens next. But uh,
We would have
the
had an
series,
episode.
the series is very interesting. It's enough to keep you on your toes because right now, they just proved that anything can happen. This is an actual war, and taking out one of the three from the trio, the original trio,
Yeah,
like that tells you nobody's safe in this war. Like they're fighting a monster. It's not a villain, it's a monster, you know. So
yeah,
they have to go with everything they got, and you must know that if there's a war, there's gonna be wins and there's gonna be losses too, and not everything's gonna go as planned, as you saw with the Toga thing.
yep.
So I'd say just stay tuned and watch it happen. You may not like what. Hmm?
And we have 10 episodes of possibilities left.
Yeah, you might not like what you're gonna see, or you might. Who knows? Just keep watching it, and let us know what you think.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We got reincarnated as a slime. Not a crazy amount happened, just some fun stuff here and there.
Yeah, something really fun happened, huh?
Well, I don't remember if we talked about it per se, but we had the whole, labyrinth deal for a little bit with the Veldora. We're using him to
Dora.
kind of call the monsters and stuff like that, using his aura.
He can now release himself, which is good.
We've had Rimuru meeting a bunch of subjects around the kingdom,
Hmm.
like Like he invited the elves in.
The other clans.
He
Yep.
invited some elves in. And
Yeah,
some
the
other.
elves were really happy because they were sick and tired of the fight between them. What was it, the Minotaurs or something,
Yeah.
and the horses?
And they're yeah, I think they're literally just like, you solved our problem already, and it's because he did accidentally solve their problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were fighting, and then I guess they saw like one of them fight, like Shion fight or something. And they're just like,
Eon, yeah.
okay, I'm backing off now.
Yeah, because I remember he tried to release his aura, but they were so fighting into each other that they didn't realize. But then they saw Shion, she's so strong, but she is one of Rimuru's caretakers. So they understood that if she's this strong, that means that Rimuru's even stronger, because somebody strong is not gonna follow somebody that's weaker than them.
Oh, and Shion got some new training partners. Remember?
Yeah, them, right?
Yeah, they're from the
Oh
giant
no,
demon
the
lord.
other, yeah, the from the other demon dude.
Yeah, because they thought they were gonna come out, and they started beating up the guards, which is just like, okay, you're beating up the
Hmm.
guards. And then they dealt with Shion, and it was like, oh, okay, never mind. Can you train us?
Yeah, but they lucky enough they were just beating them up. They didn't kill anybody. They just beat them up,
Yeah,
which is it's not bad, you know.
I think his name is Drag Rule.
Maybe I don't remember his name. He would they were not impactful enough for me to remember their name.
I don't know if I remember this correctly. It is Dag Rule, not Drag Rule. Dag Rule. I don't know how I remember that. I don't remember most of these characters' names, and yet I remember him all of a sudden. That's crazy. But yeah, Dag Rule's minions, actually sons. They were his sons.
Yeah, they're Dagrul's sons.
Who's the wife?
You kill him? I don't know.
His dad wouldn't have.
Yeah, so moving forward on that, it's just Rimuru keep meeting up with the other clans.
We had the Tengu though. That was
Yeah, that
the main coup de
so
grace.
yeah, so this is where the spoon flips right now, because the Tengu come and then we get a flashback as to when they were meeting the Tengu.
Yeah.
Whatever happened next, we were not expecting at all.
You mean how he had a proposal essentially?
Yes, so our boy, what's his name? I forgot.
Let me pull it up. Benny Maru. Yes, yes.
Benny Maru. Okay, so cut that out. Our boy Benny Maru.
Yeah.
Our boy Benny Maru got a proposal. We didn't know, but he's actually really popular apparently with the ladies, to the point that the Gabi Maru's sister wants him too, and I think Shion's the lady fighters wants him or
You blame
something.
them? Like, it's Benny Maru, man. Come on.
Look, Benny Maru looks cool as hell, bro.
He's a handsome guy, like.
He is. He is. Like, look, if I probably be a female over there, I'd probably be fawning over Benny Maru too.
I mean, he's strong and he's handsome. Like, what else can you ask for?
And he's one of Rimuru's hands, bro.
Yeah, he's essentially his left hand man, because Shion's the right hand man.
And Shuna. They're both the right.
True. Oh, and Diablo.
Yeah. Yeah, Diablo's
He
in
has
there
three.
too. I mean, he's a slime. He can have as many hands as he wants.
Yeah, it's fair. But the part that you didn't consider was obviously the Tengu daughter, the elder's daughter, is actually Hakuro's daughter, which was the thing that nobody expected.
Dun dun dun. Nobody expected for these Tengu to say that Hakuro has a daughter. So yeah, Hakuro, that old guy, yes, he has a daughter. And what makes it even funnier is that he didn't even know he had a daughter.
Yeah, he didn't, but he traded it very nonchalantly, like, well, I guess I have a daughter, I need to take care of her now.
Yeah. Benny Maru even told him, like, hey, you didn't even know you had a daughter. And he's like, but I do now. So
Oh, one other thing that they did mention, which I thought was interesting, is that the Tengu aren't technically a race.
yeah, so apparently it's when I correct me if I'm wrong. They said when an angel reincarnates as a wolf,
Yeah.
they turned into that. It makes no sense to me.
It's apparently like, so that elder lady, right? So
Hmm.
when she got reincarnated like that, she became the progenitor of her race, aka kind of like Ranga did, where when he became the Star Wolf thing, like it just spawned a bunch of minions as a result of him becoming the progenitor of his race. It's kind of the same thing
So
with the Tengu, right?
that's where I got lost because I didn't understand that when they mentioned Ranga. Ranga was a wolf
Yes,
from the very beginning. So when Rimuru named them, it turned them into a star wolf, correct?
yes,
And that's when a lot of other wolves spawn.
yep, exactly. So it's kind of like
Okay.
the progenitor race is. I guess it uses like them as like the beginning of that entire like group.
So, so you could say the same thing about Gabiru because Gabiru was a lizard, and he when he got named, he turned into a dragon newt.
Yes.
So and oh, which is true because it spawned like all his friends. They got wings now, which they weren't able to fly. Remember?
Yeah. I mean,
So.
we know that Dragonoots have a different path as well because if you remember Milliam's companions,
Hmm.
they are Dragonoots but more human than lizard
Mm.
because they mention
And
it.
yeah, and Gabriel's sister, she went on a different path. She's more human too.
Yeah.
She's with Zoe.
Yeah, so there's kind of like two different branching paths of going more human, going more lizard, more dragonist.
Hmm.
So there's
Which
that.
unfortunately our boy Gabriel is not popular enough to get girls, as he
Oh.
was saying on the episode.
He's just like, why do I only have men in my army? And then
But
meanwhile, over here, Benny Maru also gets the Gorgon.
yeah,
He's just like, I'm
he
gonna fight for him too.
yeah. So there, Benimaru has two girls fighting for him, and which incited for Shuna and Shion to start fighting for
Hey, you forgot
Rimuru.
a third one. They put all three in that image.
They did? What's the
They
third
put
one?
the three best girls. You haven't forgot about Diablo, right?
Oh yeah, yes. They did put it on there. Yeah, that's
Uh,
true.
that was hilarious when they were just panning to all three of them. You're just like, Gion, Shuna, okay, Diablo.
Diablo comes out of nowhere.
He's like, I have no romantic feelings, but I mean, if you remember, there is a certain other demon lord that said he would be fine with turning genders.
I believe so. I don't remember who it was, but I remember that you mentioning something. Well, I mean, something like that happening.
Yeah, the
Being
primordial
mentioned.
red.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
he
true.
remember I don't know if he was joking or not. He could
It
serious.
probably was not. That dude doesn't look like he
Guy
jokes.
Crimson.
Guy Crimson
They
or
called it
G
Guy in
Crimson.
there. I don't know
Yeah,
why. His name's actually spelled Guy, but they called him Guy Crimson or something. But
yeah.
it's
So
pretty.
yeah, it was a pretty funny chapter. Nothing big happened, at least not for now.
Yeah,
We're just waiting now until that labyrinth gets open and see what's gonna happen. But for now, we just get these rom-com episodes, which I'm fine with because it was a fun episode.
absolutely. We decided to keep going on. I know it's heavy meeting and heavy talking, but I don't
Hmm.
mind that. Like, it doesn't need to be action 24/7.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
All right, let's go ahead and move on from Slime and talk about the first three episodes of Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World?
All right. So what is this anime about?
Well, it's about a kind of war between a bunch of different races like demons and angels and I don't know, there's a bunch. But in his current era, in episode 1, he's in an era where the humans won thanks to their hero Sid. Um
The
but that
fight
quick
against all the other clans.
but that quickly changes. I don't know, something changed the world and made it so the humans didn't win and now the race war is essentially still going on.
Yeah, the race war is still going on with the humans losing the race. They haven't lost completely, but they've been like reduced to a few shelters, if I'm not mistaken, on
Yeah.
this world. And the odd thing is that it feels like an isekai, but at the same time not, because our protagonist it's on the same world, but it's like on another reality where nobody knows who he was, his friends doesn't know who he is, or stuff like that.
Yeah, an entire different reality where memories are just kind of wiped of events that were supposed to actually happen, or like the events just never happened. Um, which is very interesting. The other interesting factor is, of course, Rene,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually an amalgamation of all the races, aka she's is the genetic makeup of all of them.
Of all the races, yeah, demon, humans, spirits,
Dragon,
dragon, elves.
yeah, which is interesting because it's like she's the bridge apparently, but at the same point she gets ridiculed for it because she's not, you know, one particular.
She has a white wing and a black wing.
Yep. So it's that kind of thing. Obviously, our man MC breaks her out and they form a partnership.
Do you remember his name?
Uh, something with Vent. I kind of I,
His
I
name. His name is Kai Sakuravento.
yeah. See, I remember the Vent part.
Yeah,
I have to
that's
remember
the
Kai. Kai is pretty simple.
yeah Kai Sakuravento. I will remember him because it's Vento, so it's me. So
Be Bento as well. So we do have that kind of situation. Obviously, he has advanced weaponry from his world in this case that they are unaware about.
he does. He's the only one that knows how to use it, and the current timeline where he's at, they're unaware, so it's pretty effective against them.
Quite an interesting deal, of course. Obviously, even before he got changed into this world, he was about to be confessed to by this girl, who in that world has to play the role of a guy, which is kind of
John. John is the high-ranking soldier of the Federation.
yep, Jean. Very appropriate. I'm kind of like reminiscing on Jean d'Arc.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She reminds me of John the Ark. She dresses in blue too, so
So
Seba.
maybe that's kind of the reference. So the idea now is their goal. They're gonna go defeat the hero of the demons, essentially, what you would call it, Vanessa. Quite the interesting name for the hero of the demons. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you
Um,
wouldn't expect that name.
so he believes he can do it because he also has Sid's sword too. He picked it up. The code breaker is what they call it.
That's how he activates it.
Code breaker. Very interesting things happen though as soon as they approach Vanessa, obviously. And all it takes to click is the name Sid. And things start to clicking in Vanessa's brain, which is
Start
just
glowing the wire. Yeah,
like, okay. And she kind of is vaguely remembering these things, just kind of like a recollection thing. And obviously there's somebody else out there, changing the world or change the world in that sense.
I don't want them to remember. Sid's name is apparently it's like a catalyst. Whenever somebody mentions Sid's name, the hero Sid, people be like, "Oh, I think I remember," and then stuff starts happening.
And this being came out of a portal to try to get rid of Vanessa because she remembered, which was, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have no other information aside from that. We don't know who it is.
Other than Vanessa just killed the thing.
It didn't kill it. It just went back.
Well, she essentially like obliterated the thing. It didn't die, but it went back after it
No.
took heavy damage.
It just took. The thing said the damage has passed the threshold, so he returned to get healed.
It's
But it
kind of a
didn't kill it.
robot race, right? That's kind of what it's like. A
Deus
mechanical.
Machina.
Yeah. Are the robots taken over in this world?
Like, who knows? Like, there's demons and elves, dragons, so who knows?
I go back now to your little theory that the one doing this all along is Sid, which is a fascinating theory. I'm not gonna lie. Just because maybe he's trying to wipe out the memories of his name from everybody.
I didn't say that the one doing it was him. I said that.
It's a good theory. I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty good theory.
Well, what I said was that it was Kai. Kai is the same Sid. He just probably changed names or did something about it, Or who knows, maybe it could be Sid from the Eminence in Shadow. He's there.
No, but you kind of said it. I'm just like, I kind of think that's a pretty good theory if it is Sid just trying to make a change in the world himself because he doesn't like how the world ended up or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why he's just trying to wipe certain memories out. Like, it would be a very interesting plot twist if that's the
Well,
case.
yeah, it could have been that something happened during Sid's reign as the one hero, or on the on that world there was no peace. Only the humans found peace. Everything else died.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't like that, and he sent back in time or something to himself. And now he has Rene, that she is
The embodiment of
uh,
everything.
correct.
Which maybe that's what the goal is to bridge all the races together this time instead of actually having everybody kill each other off.
Correct. That might be.
Maybe it is Sid, and that's his ultimate goal is he doesn't want to kill everything off, instead wanted peace between everyone.
Well, who knows? I guess we're gonna have to see to find out.
For 3 episodes, that's what we got so far. Oshi no Ko season 2 episodes 1 through 4. We have the Tokyo Blade adaptation.
Which Tokyo Blade now has returned as a Go. Um, on that last episode that we saw, I can't remember that little girl's name. The sensei.
Yeah.
She watched the play and I guess she liked it.
I mean, at first she wanted to change everything in the earlier
Yeah.
episodes, and that's because, and obviously the reason is because of communication problems. When some
Mhm.
communication is fed through multiple people, it loses meaning partway through. That's what the problem was. Her thoughts
Yes.
were going through with filters.
Yeah, it was not being conveyed.
By the time it got to him, he's just like, that's kind of weird, but okay, we'll make that change. And then it wasn't the change she wanted.
So she ended up not liking anything.
But it got resolved after she realized by watching, the play that Aqua
Which
put into place.
which was made by the same guy who was writing the script for her play.
Yep. And thus we had the direct communication this time, and it worked
hmm
out because direct communication's better.
It worked out so good that they spent the whole day until the next morning working.
Yeah. Hey, oh, by the way, we forgot about the best anime fight in Oshi no Ko was between the two authors, yelling at each other back and forth until they.
Oh yeah. The creator of Tokyo Blade and her sensei fighting, not fighting, just insulting each other, but it was just letting their feelings out
Yeah, I
as
know it.
they kept drawing Tokyo Blade.
Yeah, it was the best anime fight, right? No, just kidding. But it was a pretty good, like, just argumentative fight together where it wasn't like gonna be end all like ruin their friendship deal, just like getting their honesty out of each other.
Yeah, they love each other, so it wasn't gonna go that bad. They were just communicating and letting their feelings out.
Which everybody needs probably at some point, and it's good that they have each other for that outlet, right?
Mm-hmm. We all need somebody like that.
Absolutely. Speaking of having somebody like that, Aqua really needs somebody like that.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little complicated with the Aqua.
He has to start being emotional in his acting, which he hasn't done up to this point. He's been keeping it, straight.
I thought he did it once on the season 1 when he turned into, because he's a prodigy. Uh, he can act normal, but he hasn't done like putting a lot of feelings. But I think that he put his feelings into being the killer of the idol on season 1 when he had to act that out.
Maybe the dark feelings are easier than the sweet feelings, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, because it's easier and for him to bring out the dark feelings because he's seen the person that killed I firsthand, right? So he knows how to act like a killer. It's
He
just
didn't see the person. He just saw I when she was bleeding and stabbed.
yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, didn't see it directly in that case, yes.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, kind of like that situation where his dark feelings are obviously taking more, front face because we've seen him, thinking back to all of his good moments And then
Mhm.
you see like this image of his old self being like, why are you having fun? Essentially, you're not allowed to
Mhm.
be happy.
Yeah, you let her die. You didn't save her twice.
Yeah, it's literally in the back of your brain telling you, no, you're not allowed. You you need to get a revenge.
So here's the thing. He died for her. He got killed because he saw the killer
Yeah.
when he was back in the doctor's body, and he just flung the doctor off a cliff. So he died for her once, and then he reincarnates as her son. That has to be an irony, bro.
I mean, also there, I saw something and it really like clicked in my brain. You know, the mindset of a doctor is right. If you let somebody die, like it's
Hmm.
it's even worse for a doctor, right, than it is for.
Yeah, you have to live with that because it was your fault.
And I think that's his problem. His old mindset's still there. His doctor mindset of I let somebody die, therefore I'm not allowed.
The whole revenge thing is his doctor mind too, because
Exactly.
because his sister already lived on and moved on from that, but Aqua hasn't because he still remembers when he was a doctor.
And yeah, he has his little panic episode from that whole thing.
The first time we saw it.
And as you mentioned, his sister is over it. He didn't want to bring his sister into this mix because
hmm
of that. Because she's already living her life, living her future.
hmm
And he didn't want to mess with that.
Yeah, she's gonna collab with Peon again.
Oh boy, let's have another one. Peon Channel.
She said she wanted to.
I know they were close. You almost had it. You almost had your peon episode.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I want to collaborate with Peon again.
As we continue on, obviously, the more we see Akane, we're just more like, God, she's too good at profiling.
She's smart, yeah.
He did like got one casual word of him, you know, saying I in his sleep to I figured
hmm
out everything.
hmm She's like, I'm here for you. And he's like, what's this about? And then she said, I just imagine a bad scenario and you're not alone.
Yeah, he said that, and it's just like, well, I just imagined a scenario and didn't like
It's
pinpoint it
it's really sad, yeah.
because obviously he couldn't tell anybody the situation. He couldn't say anything about being the son of
hmm
Ray. He couldn't do any of that because it would screw with it.
That's true.
So there's that. The title of the next episode is emotional acting, so we're probably going to be seeing some, you know, more character development on Aqua's case for the emotional acting section. Because maybe he can actually do it now that Akane's kind of supporting him.
Well, we'll see. He has Akane and he has what's Kana. Yep.
Kana and Akane. Kana's the one that kind of drove into him that,
Yeah, it
which
was her fault at the beginning, but she
that
didn't
was a
know.
crazy thing she just like said. He's like, you have to imagine your mom died, and it's like, uh,
Well, she said that's what they tell the child actors,
I know, but it's still just like a crazy thing to say something to somebody where it actually happened, and
but she did.
he can't
He
say
doesn't
that it
know.
happened. Yeah, you know that's the thing. It's just crazy, just like how that, you know, as an audience member, it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, but what they think it's that they're the producers' kids.
Yeah. So still a lot more to happen. I didn't expect this kind of episode, and I love this episode. Like just because I'm glad they came right back to this and kind of gave the PTSD to Aqua, you know. It
Mhm.
needed to happen because you're just like, there's no way he's over this.
Mhm.
So
Oh, he can't forgive himself.
yeah, because you didn't
He,
think
he
that you didn't really think they were gonna go back to that because it's been a while.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. When he was a doctor, he started developing feelings for I
Yeah,
after, like, he took care of her for so long. They were friends. She used to call him too on the phone and all that. I guess she was falling for him, maybe, or she saw the dad that I don't know. So he was starting to catch feelings, and
yep. Meanwhile, Ruby's in the case, he was in the hospital around the same time because he
hmm
was he was her doctor, and yeah, that was a interesting combination of situations there. But let's go ahead and move on. Oshinoko is gonna be good. We're gonna keep going with it and see what happens in the later episodes. But let's
Oh,
go talk about Wistoria, Wand and Sword,
that's a good one.
obviously by the creators of Danmachi, directed by Black Clover director and action writer for Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, you can see as you're watching these anime, you can see things from both Black Clover and Danmachi in this anime.
Yeah, like episode 1 with the kind of Minotaur aspect of Minotaur versus Bell.
The robe,
Yep,
the
the
Black
robes.
Clover robe. hmm So
The
what is
no
what
magic.
is what is Wisteria about?
So Wistoria is the main character, doesn't have magic, befriends somebody that's been blessed by magic essentially because he's super powerful magic user. So it's a kind of juxtaposition of putting somebody with no magic against
hmm
somebody with probably the greatest magic out there.
A, AKA what?
Wand and sword.
No, the Magia Vendor.
Magia Vendor. Yeah, she's the youngest to be in the Magia Vendor because of that.
Yep.
Which there's only two ways to get into the Magia Vendor, and that's either earn enough credits or invent
Or
a new magic that didn't exist.
create a new magic. Yep. And she created 7.
12, actually.
12?
Yeah, she created 12.
Damn, I was off by a few.
Still crazy just to invent one, right? You're making 12? What the heck?
Yeah.
Save magic for somebody else.
It's a nice and interesting anime aside from the little trope that we know, no magic versus magic. The
Well, when you don't have any magic, that power has to go somewhere else.
Yep. So the guy is like really strong. It's not a bad anime, and the graphics are good too. It's interesting. By the third episode, they made a reveal over there, which is interesting because you would never think that they were gonna reveal this so soon. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Were you expecting the Magia Vendor so soon?
I wasn't expecting to see them all pretty soon, but I do see some also Don Machi relevance to them, especially the elf one with the wind powers. I'm just like, remember
Mm-hmm.
that elf girl from Don Machi? That's what I'm
Yeah.
seeing in you.
What's the name of the Thunder guy?
That one is Dio Thor Zeus Rainbolt.
Dio Thor Zeus Rainbow.
Obviously, it's a fire user.
We know it's a lightning user, but if you think about Danmachi, all the gods are based around mythology, Greek mythology, and all that. So he has 2 mythologies right there, which is the Viking one and the Greek one, with
Yeah.
Thor and Zeus. Um,
Obviously, the reason they got introduced is because they sent somebody out to kind of find somebody to fill in some of the slots in there. I don't think that empty slot in there was for that reason. I think it's probably somebody that wasn't there in the meeting. It's probably to add somebody else to their, somebody in the castle, somebody interesting. Um, so they send kind of this person out there to play up an act and pretend to be, a weak ditzy girl of sorts when she's actually something else, obviously.
yeah, so far I'm liking this anime. The story has not been bad at all. I was not expecting the spy to be around, and she was trying to be this acting to be this weak girl, and turned out she was not as weak. She was a spy. But they were saying at the same time that they were looking for people that were interesting and strong, and they found what is his name, Will.
Yep.
So they saw that Will, even though he has no magic, he's fighting these creatures that have magical force and can defeat them easily.
In the case of Will, obviously, Elfaria and Will came in there because they essentially. Will's only there because Elfaria, joined the academy. That's what they
Yep.
said in like episode 2.
Yeah, he was a bait.
He was bait. But sucks to be them when he's this powerful and doesn't
The
need magic to do
strongest.
so.
hmm He does use magical tools, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, their roommate's pretty cool too. And did you see how ripped he was? Oh my gosh. Like you'd have that scene where he's just taking the shirt off and then it's just like
Yeah.
ripped and it's just like, what the heck, man? How are you hiding that under your shirt?
Bro, you're forgetting it's a shonen anime, so of course the protagonist is gonna be ripped. Deku takes off his shirt and he's ripped, you know?
Reminds you of the last season of Black Clover Asta.
Yeah, oh yeah, bro. And he's all like ripped.
But yeah,
It's
he had
crazy.
that the idea of a magical tool, but it's not really magical, I guess. It uses the concept of friction, from what it looks like, to kind of send fire flames towards them and it blow up some
Mhm.
bombs. So I don't know, I wouldn't call it a magical tool. I would say it's kind of just like laws of physics.
I mean, it's a tool regardless. It might
Yeah.
not be a magical tool, but it is a tool.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait because they didn't actually give it a name, did they?
He said a magic, kind of like what Mashal does, where he just makes
Mm.
up like the name of a magic for
Oh,
something.
okay.
Yeah,
So
he made up a name it looks like for it, but I don't remember the
so
name
what
though.
what you're saying is this person that created the tool for him, it's Hatsune from
Oh, the name
uh
of the roommate.
no, I'm saying it's because there's in My Hero Academia, Hatsune is the
Oh
one that's
yeah,
creating
yes,
oh my babies, take here, have these.
the support tool. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I remember her. Yeah, there's a lot of little comparisons like that. But I think we're coming up on in the for Wistoria, we're coming up on what they mentioned was a festival of sorts, which is probably going to have a battle event. And we're gonna probably see Will pop off there against some actual magic users.
Yeah, so now he's gonna turn into Black Clover on the test on the first season where he fought on that tournament and Yami recruited him.
Except in this case, it's probably gonna be single one-on-ones, and there's not really gonna be a captain recruiting. It's just you got to show these Magia vendor that he can fight.
But who knows? Maybe the Magia vendors have a team.
Because we know the
Cause
funny thing is the one person, the Magia vendor, that you'd never think would agree to this is the one that agreed. Because the authorities is just like sounds fun,
hmm
and the other ones are just like no.
yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. As far as I saw, there's people only have like specific magic elements. There's the dude with the fire.
Yep.
There's the spy that had water attack. The strongest magician, she has ice. The
The elf one had
professor,
wind.
yeah, the professor has dark. So what I'm guessing is what's gonna happen after this tournament thing is like they have little subgroups under the magia vendors, and they have the like people with specific abilities under each magia vendor, because you get proven to it by the spy. The spy's under one of the magia vendors specifically.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that they're gonna have like a clan, a subgroup or something. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. There might be some kind of thing like that. But I know that they're talking about the fated day. That was a big point they've been making for the last few episodes as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're preparing people. They
and
don't know if it's gonna happen or not.
it's probably because the spell you can see it's fading away and the sky's gonna
Yeah,
start
they don't
turning.
know. They don't know when it's gonna happen, but they just want to be prepared for when it happens.
Exactly. So we'll have to find out more as it comes. We have an episode coming up this coming weekend, so I'm looking forward to see where we're headed with that. Obviously, Elfaria and Will are destined to eventually meet and be together, um, because they want their relationship in the sky.
Oh, who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Let's go ahead and go on to the wacky but dark Elusive Samurai.
Ah, the Elusive Samurai from the creators of Assassination Classroom. I was
Yeah,
not expecting it to be this different. I don't know what I was expecting, honestly, but
hey,
it's
I'm
not a bad show.
I'm loving seeing Gojo in here in this anime. So.
Oh, he's there too. Oh wait, he's yeah, the priest. I caught it now.
He's the wacky priest.
Well, it suits him because no matter what Paper Gojo does, he always does like the goofy character paper. You can see it in Gojo. He's the strongest, and yet he's a goofy, right? In Windbreakers, he's the leader. He's the
And
strongest, but he's goofy too.
he plays a lot of different roles. Like he's even Tatsuya from a regular Magic High School.
And there's nothing to say in there. Tatsuya's the strongest. I guess he only plays the strongest characters.
I mean, he's literally the the greatest fighter in Doctor Stone. He's him too.
There you go.
Yeah, he's just playing all these strong characters now. Yeah, he's wacky, and honestly, like I love his moments where he's just like in the future this happens, and it's just like,
Yeah. So what's this anime about? Tell the people.
so in this anime we essentially have a overthrow or a coup of the current regime of the samurai regime, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
by a trusted advisor, which you don't expect. But it's kind of just like an overthrow, and then things get dark.
Betrayal. Mm-hmm.
Everybody just starts getting hurt outside of the people on their end.
Yeah. So this one guy that he was the strongest. I can't remember his name. But he goes down in history. He betrayed everybody from the clan that he was serving, and he killed everybody except for the protagonist, because the
He can
protagonist
run.
has a yeah, he has an uncanny ability. What is his ability?
He can run. He's as good at dodging and running and crazy.
Yeah, so he enjoys the chase. So he has an uncanny ability of dodging. So the reason why he stayed alive was because he was able to dodge everything. So now we have the priest guy teaching him how to survive using his ability to run.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just crazy. He's just able to dodge very well. We see that in episode 2 as well, um, where he's just because he gains companions obviously as well
Mm-hmm.
through the use of the priest. It brings in some companions to help him because he's trying to get him to reclaim what's his essentially.
I don't know what's in it for the priest that decided to help him, but
Yeah, it is very strange. He says it's because something with his father, right? But who knows? He might have some secret back end plan.
a secret plan or something. But this last episode that I saw was good too. He was fighting like the strongest archer.
I like though how just out of he essentially brings a board game from the future. He even makes a mention of that. He brings a board game from the future.
Yeah, he did. Because he can see the future, so.
Yeah, he's just like he keeps bringing that up too, and you're just like, you think it's a sham sometimes, and then some other times you're just like, no, it's be real.
Yeah, why is this hole here? Oh, because I saw that you were gonna run, and so I made a hole here.
It's weird how they mix these comedic and dark elements so freaking well.
But meshes so well, so.
Kind of like because then we get, obviously we start off with those weird moments, and then we get into the dark stuff with the uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, because his brother, the MC's brother, is from a concubine, so it's frowned upon.
Yeah, that's how royalty goes usually.
So obviously, the uncle just kind of throws him under the bus, and they decapitate him, and you see that like on the screen and everything. It's like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Oh yeah, this show doesn't shy away from the blood.
Yeah, it does not.
It's not your usual assassination classroom graphics.
Yeah, it's interesting that this is by the same creator.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have that, and obviously we have the moment where the uncle tries to come take his head, and they have that whole sequence there, ultimately leading to what exactly? You know what happened? What happened to the
Yeah,
uncle?
the uncle got murked by his own nephew.
Yep, he has a kill count of 1 now. Our MC
Yep.
does.
He used his ability to run to get some force and decapitated him. It's not your regular show. It combines, like you were saying, action with comedy, and it matches very well. Um I'm liking it. I'm gonna keep watching it. I don't know what else to say aside that I like it. It's not something normal that we're used to,
Oh yeah.
because it's not. Because the thing is that it doesn't give up dark vibes. Like you see Jujutsu Kaisen and you know it has dark vibes, right? This show doesn't. As soon as you see the protagonist, it's like a light shining because he's so innocent, he's pure. But then when it comes to he, if he has to fight, he will fight.
Yeah, and obviously he's not very powerful, and they make a note is because even his muscles are running away when it
Mm-hmm.
when it goes down on it. Going back to the whole future deal thing in episode 4, if you remember that, where they have this kind of weird thing where they archery at dogs.
They did mention that in the future that's frowned upon, but on
It
the
is, yeah.
samurai era, that's pretty normal.
Yeah, it's interesting too, and you never think that this is something they did at that time, but I guess it makes sense. They're not
But then,
human beings, you know.
but then they fix it, showing that they were not shooting like real arrows; they were shooting just like bob arrows.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah, you're right. But the main reason, obviously, was to draw in this new governor
Mm-hmm.
to learn from him, because we learned that the MC is really good at archery.
Yep, that's the archer guy that I was talking about earlier too.
Yeah, he's crazy and has weird eyes.
Yeah, he can see a lot too.
He can indeed see a lot.
So yeah, the anime left on a cliffhanger, um, after they were having their match. So I guess we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I even the art style looks pretty good on the show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna
Um,
be watching it. I'm not gonna lie.
but yeah, it's fun samurai action with darkness and comedy at the same mix. Who could say no to that?
Yeah. How?
All right.
What score did you give it?
What score do I give Elusive Samurai?
Yeah.
I would probably say right now, for the first 4 episodes, I would kind of give it maybe an 8 out of 10.
That's around. I was thinking about 7.5 to an 8. It's not bad. It has good graphics too, and it's just hasn't not developed a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad show. I would agree with you with that 8.
All right. Well, with that, I think we can wrap up this podcast. We covered 6 anime here. What are your overall thoughts so far on the start of this new anime season?
So far, why does nobody remember me in this world? I'll watch it just cause I'm curious to see what happened to the world. Definitely gonna watch Wistoria. Elusive Samurai has me hooked so far, and of course, I'm gonna be watching Oshinoko. So I gotta like this set 4 that I just talked about. I'm gonna be watching them for sure. Aside from any other, I haven't watched any other yet, but we'll see. We'll see how time does.
Obviously, in my case, I'm watching all of these, but I'm also watching more that we're not going to discuss on the podcast. Kind of like The Return of Fairy Tale. That's been pretty good. I'm watching a lot of rom coms. I'm not going to name, there's too many to name. So,
Hmm. You're also playing your gachas.
yeah, a lot of gotchas, a lot of that. I'm watching the same other thing from the author, The Rise in This World, season 2 or something. I'm watching that by the same author as Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World?
Hmm.
Pretty good. There is a ton of good anime, obviously, so I just trying to pick up a bunch of them and continue on.
All right. If you were to choose one anime to have people watch it, which one would it be?
I'm always gonna say Oshinoko. I think promising.
Season 1.
Season 1 and into, well, yeah, season 1 will always be better because of that first episode. It's always, that.
Yeah. That
Obviously,
twist.
yeah, that twist for sure. So I will probably always say that, just for that reason alone. If we're talking like non-sequels, I recommend Wistoria. Like Wistoria is a lot of fun.
It is actually. I enjoy watching it. So We will have to keep watching it to see how it goes. I'm honestly curious about it.
And here, I'll name one rom-com from this season, and that is the Alia tries to hide her feelings in Russian. If you're a rom-com person, would recommend.
Nice. Well, there you have it, folk. If you're a rom-com person, if you're looking for some romance comedy, go ahead and watch it. For all you others, just keep watching us, keep hitting that like button, subscribe, that bell button that does help.
Thank you guys all for watching the true episode 7 of Into the Depths anime podcast, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Bye bye.
Bye.